Okay,
This
sounds great.
conference will now be recorded.
Great. Okay, well, hello everyone. Good afternoon. I am very pleased to be here with you today to talk about What3Words and how you can all get started today. Some of you may have already actually used it. I've got a couple of use cases to share that I've heard about from Kansas. There might be others that we haven't heard about yet. We just kind of hear about them afterwards sometimes. And if you are one of those people who has used it, please do reach out to me afterwards. I would love to hear more, or jump in during the presentation and share with the whole group. That would be great as well. I can see questions in the chat, so if anybody does have questions as I go along, feel free to share them there, or at the end we can talk more in detail as well. So I believe you can all see my screen. So I'm here to talk to you about, again, What3Words, which is a global addressing system, and the entire world has been split into these 10-foot squares. Every square has a unique 3-word address, which can be used to communicate that exact location. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Make sure this is working. Okay. Okay. All right. I think everything's working now. So the reason that What3Words exists is because many parts of the world do not have a traditional address. I'm sure you all know that very well, that people might call in from a hunting area, a forest, a lake, a certain place which doesn't have a traditional address. So it can be difficult to communicate their exact location. If you're in a more urban area, there are lots of issues that could come up there as well. There's one address for large stadiums. So if you have a large university stadium or an arena, you might have a mall, a university campus, lots of different buildings which are going to have one entrance or one address pin in the middle of the building. Difficult to communicate which entrance something might have happened at, or if it's a large parking lot even. There are a lot of similar sounding street addresses. I know from working across the US with lots of PSAPs, the same county is used in every single state. So the same thing with streets, they're repeated quite often. And then if something is a new build, it might not have the GIS information yet, it might not have an address. Now, of course, there are pins on a map, so people might try to share a pin, and there's also, we could use GPS coordinates. The problem with both of those is that speaking them, first of all, speaking a pin is impossible, and speaking a GPS coordinate is near impossible. It's quite difficult to speak, this example, 24 degrees, 43 minutes, 2.4, I'm not exactly sure how to say the next north. So it's basically, it's just not simple. So this is where What3Words comes in. We want to make sure that people can talk about any exact location using just 3 words. So this simple innovator dotted, this is out in the Badlands. So if someone is out in the Badlands, something happens, or this is just a really great viewpoint and this is a really great spot to take a picture, and they want to share that with their friends, then they can let you know that exact 3-word address. Now, again, thinking about, I know you've got lots of rural areas. I know harvest season happened just recently, and there could be accidents happening. And so as you'll be able to see here, basically, I don't know why it's not playing, but that was just going to kind of illustrate that in this rural area, every 10-foot square, which is about the size of a car parking spot, in this example is the size of the tractor, every single 10-foot square has a unique 3-word address. So if this person had the accident, they can just say, I'm at Imprints Teach Playoffs. That is their exact address for that exact 10-foot square. Any of those squares around it would have worked to give you that location. So Outdone Efforts ICES, another location in Rice County, talking about that exact location in that field. You can use What3Words for any location, no matter where it might be. Hold on, sorry, it's just sort of frozen. Here we go. So roadside incidents, accidents, great time to use What3Words because you're not conveniently usually next to the mile marker. So being able to communicate the exact location, if you need to get, an air ambulance and an ambulance and fire or police all to the same location, it's a really great way to use 3-word address. It's a common language that can be used between different agencies. As I mentioned, we've been talking to lots of people in different parts of the U.S. right now getting ready for hunting season. So thinking about accidents that might happen out in the forest. Difficult to communicate these exact locations. And then if we go back thinking more about those urban areas again, going back to those stadiums, universities, business and college campuses, now you can use a 3-word address to talk about any location around. So there are really thousands of options here. Every single 10-foot square, if it's the Uber drop-off or a tailgating spot or the incident has happened at a certain location, you can use a 3-word address. Now, 3-word addresses also encompass the water. So if something happened in this instance on a boat at one of those boat slips, you could actually use What3Words for that as well. All right, just trying to get to the next slide here. Okay. Now, the reason that What3Words is so precise is because it actually is human-friendly GPS coordinates. That's the simplest way to think about it. So if you take, what our technology does is it takes the 3 words, converts them to coordinates, or takes GPS coordinates and converts them to 3 words. That is really the basis of what it does. So every single square with those 3 words equals a GPS coordinate. And so therefore, if you're using it with another system, if you're using it in your CAD, for example, if you're using Rapid Deploy, I'll come to that in a little bit, but you'll see What3Words right next to the 3-word address. Right next to the GPS coordinate. So they are interchangeable. What3Words just gives you a human-friendly way to speak those words over the radio or over the phone to dispatch them out to those exact locations. And now we've built some things into the technology to make sure that if there's a mistake, it's easy to pick that mistake up and to notice it. So what we did was we moved similar sounding combinations. We tried to shuffle them far apart from each other. So in this example, table chair lamp and table chair lamps are in 2 different countries. And so therefore, it'd be pretty easy to spot the mistake. So we called that auto-suggest technology. And imagine someone calls in and they've given you their 3-word address because they've seen, an ad, or they've seen, something in the newspaper or on the news saying that, okay, my 911 now accepts What3Words. They've downloaded the app, they have an accident, they call in and give you a 3-word address. Well, if that's typed in and anything is misspelled, or maybe the person misspoke the words, this technology can now autocorrect that. So Ideal Spoil Yards is in Kentucky, Ideal Spoiling Yards is in Virginia, and Ideal Spoiling Yards is in Australia. So you would know that, okay, none of those are in Kansas, so there's a mistake. If you're in Kentucky, for example, you would know it's just a spelling mistake, and yep, I meant Ideal Spoil Yards. And so it's just a way to just double check and make sure, take a little bit of the worry out of getting it exactly right. You can also speak the words right into the app, so that's a really fast way. So that's the way that, first responder, if they're given a 3-word address, it's great for them to have the app. They just hit that speech bubble that you can see there on the right and speak Ideal Spoil Yards right in. So it's really simple to use. We are always trying to update our app as well to make it even simpler all the time. So speaking of the app, we have a couple of products for consumers and businesses and everyone alike to use. So we have a free app and we have a free map site. Now those are both available today already. So you could download this free app, check it out, have a play, get familiar with it. It's helpful to do so. Talk to the agencies and first responders that you work with, and we're very happy. I'm happy to speak with you all, or to speak with those teams as well to help them get familiar with What3Words and how they can use it, so that it's not the first time they're hearing about it if you give them a 3-word address. Great for them to already kind of know what's coming their way. So in this example, Retina Loft Aura, if you've radioed that out to someone, they can speak or type it into the app and then navigate to that location. We've got this web map as well, which you can search, but What3Words is built into the Radius map, which again, I'll come to that in a little bit, but hopefully all of you have seen that. There you can search the 3 words directly in the Radius map as well. And so most likely you won't need to use our free map site, but it's always there just in case. Okay, I'd also like to just give you a little broader idea about What3Words and what we do so that you know a little bit more about us. So What3Words is not just used for emergencies. That's a big part of what we do these days. But you can also use What3Words to navigate somewhere. So if you're meeting your friends out to go hiking or fishing, camping, wherever it might be, you can give them a 3-word address to meet at that location. You can also use one in different vehicles. And we're really excited that soon we're actually going to be live with Kansas State Parks. So you'll be able to see on the website the park information and the 3-word address for that location to get there. And so looking at a couple of those examples, in a Mercedes vehicle, you can speak a 3-word address directly into the vehicle and then navigate there. Triumph Motorcycles has an app. You can build a route. So if you're going on a journey, you can use the app and use 3-word addresses for great viewpoints along the way. You can also use the What3Words app in many Ford vehicles via their app link. So there are lots of different ways to use What3Words. And then we hope that soon COVID will be behind us and we'll be back out enjoying events together with lots of people and building the communities back up. And in those cases, What3Words is really powerful to use with events on both sides. So where this is an example of a park in London. So you can imagine the park has one address. They used What3Words around the map so that people knew where the spectator meet and greet was, where lots of things are across the park. But they also had the emergency response was set up in a tent there, and they had kind of their on-site command and control room with a big screen with What3Words on it. And the first responders there and the teams all knew about What3Words. And so if something happened, you know, it's a 26-mile route for a marathon, they could just radio out the 3 words, and their teammates could use What3Words via the free app. And so therefore, they were able to just simply communicate those locations through this big event. And now here's some other examples. So I mentioned state parks and different events that we work with. So Arizona State Parks has built it in. They've got it on their website. They're telling the public about it. Hey, if you're coming to the park, download this free app. It helps you to help us. If you have an emergency, give us your location. But you can also use it for lots of fun ways and to find things around the different parks. That's what we're launching soon in Kansas, so we're really excited about that. And so soon people will be able to use What3Words when they are out and about. Eventually, we'd love to get to the point of having signs like this, physical signs, to help people understand what a 3-word address is and to be able to use that. A couple other examples, you know, just getting to the right location at a hospital, finding a brewery, finding any different location. What3Words is helpful for roadside assistance and car accidents. So if you're trying to communicate those locations, it can be really powerful. Now, we do have some partners that are using What3Words to talk about their different GIS assets or other assets. So these are fire hydrants, for example. Now that's something if you need a simple way to communicate where your fire hydrants are with your fire teams or with some engineers or maintenance, if someone needs to find them, What3Words can be a simple way to communicate those locations. Okay, so now I would like to shift gears back to why you're all here today to talk about how you can use What3Words and how it's being used in public safety. So again, I hope some of you have already tried it out. I had a chance. I know I spoke on a call a few months ago, and you likely now have got radius maps set up and have started to test it out and play. And so we are really thrilled that, you know, we're just getting started in the US. So as you're getting started on radius maps, we've only been working with PSAPs in the US for a few months now. So Kansas is pretty far ahead. We're excited to work with many of you and look forward to working with more of you. In the UK, where our company is based, they're now using What3Words on average of once a day via their different agencies and services. So over 80% of the emergency services in the country are using it. Of course, that's a much smaller scale to the US, but many of the agencies are using it in various ways to help communicate locations. The public has gotten involved, and you know, there are lots of people who have been rescued, get involved, like this gentleman, Jason, who go out and tell their story and say, I was kayaking, I had this huge accident. I was able to download the app and give the 3-word address over the phone to the 999. And that helped them to save me. So it's been a really powerful message that has been going out and helping people to get found more quickly. And so that's starting here in the US. as well. So I know that, Sedgwick County did some promotion talking about that with their text to 911 and 911 text, that What3Words is a part of that. So that was, a first start into getting the public aware of What3Words. Some of the other counties, Rice County and Butler County have done various things or trainings with their park rangers. There were also news segments. There was a news segment just this last week in Michigan. So the word is just starting to kind of get out in the US around how people can use What3Words. We're very excited to share an example. So in Butler County, they trained the park rangers at El Dorado State Park at the lake. So they were familiar, had the app, tested it out, went out and ran some drills. So this is something that I would welcome any of you to do with your teams as well. It was really powerful because there may be other uses in other state parks. We haven't heard about any yet because it does take some introduction. So not much. I mean, they take an hour, a couple hours of just testing this out on the lake, being sent a 3-word address for a location, going there and finding it. So we've heard back from them that they're really excited because they text it to them. The dispatcher either texts them and gives them the 3-word address over the radio. So that means they can just speak or type it into the app, get to that location. So I know in one of the instances, the boaters had drifted about 50 feet, but they were still thrilled because that saved them so much time getting to that exact location. And so it was really, really powerful tool for them to use across the park. We just heard of a part about Harvey County using What3Words. I just heard about this actually on LinkedIn, so you might have heard about it before me. But we're really excited to see that it's just really simple. So you see What3Words all the time coming up on your radius map. It's always there. In this instance, Monica was able to realize that it would be helpful for her to use What3Words in this instance because the gentleman wasn't able to describe where he was, and they were able to get right to that exact location. So again, What3Words is there. I would love to hear more stories. Looks like they have installed it also, the park rangers and county sheriff in Mitchell County. So thank you for sharing that, Nathan. We're really excited. And again, these are free tools that are here for you all to use. So my contact details will be at the end of the presentation. Happy to help you get set up however we can. We're really excited to help you use What3Words to the most and get the most benefit out of that. So another example from Utah, they were able to locate a family who was lost out hiking. They weren't able to text them, but they received a text and replied back to them with a link to get their location. So What3Words is available via Rapid Locate, so you can already text via Rapid Locate to pull a better location from a caller. Then you'll see the 3-word address there. Really powerful to then use that 3-word address to dispatch out because you can just radio that exact location for where the people need to go, where your first responders need to go. Now, so just again, talking a little bit about implementing this, getting apps on devices, internal trainings, and public awareness. These are the steps that we've found are kind of the most powerful in getting the message out, getting people started, and getting people using What3Words. So as far as implementation, I believe most of you should be set up on Radius Maps, so you should have access to it there. As I mentioned, we have a free app, so that's available to all of you, also to the first responders and the public, so anyone. That's why the messaging around, especially if you have a big park in your county or a lake or somewhere where it has poor connectivity, it's great to put that message out about being prepared. So this is what we're seeing a lot of. If you're going out to the Badlands hiking, then be prepared and have What3Words installed on your phone, because if you have an emergency, it's going to be much easier for you to just open that app up, give us the 3 words over the phone, because we know that sometimes you're going to have connectivity issues, even getting a call out or a text, but definitely maybe going on to the internet might not be accessible at that point. What3Words app is available offline, so the map might not load, but the person would be able to see their location. So that's a part of why our partners often will do that public awareness to get people familiar with using What3Words. So now, as I mentioned, you've got What3Words there in the Radius map, but if for some instance you need to talk through how to get it from a caller, basically if they have the What3Words app already, you just ask them to open the app, give you the 3 words, type that into the radius map, and then you can dispatch using those 3 words. So really simple. If they've heard of it already, maybe they saw one of your PSAs and used it, then that can be used right away. Oh, Deb is saying that we lost sound. Can you all hear me? Okay, great. Sounds like I've come back. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so as I mentioned, we've got this What3Words app. It's available. Very simple to use. When you sign up for the app, well, it's free, you don't have to sign up. You can sign up if you want to share saved locations. But the first time you download the app, it's going to run you through a little setup guide, which is really helpful just because we get new features all the time. So you can see how to share, save, and use the app. So here's just a really quick example. Possibly. I'm not sure if that's going to play. So it's fine. I'll just skip ahead. So as I mentioned, it's free. It works offline. You do need to allow your location services. Same thing over the phone. If you ever do need to send out the Find Me link, then you would need to ask the caller to enable location services. And so it shows the 3-word address for that location. So as I mentioned, we also have the online map. So that's always available. It's just what3words.com. Really simple to use. Oh, so this video is playing. So you can just search a 3-word address here. You just type word.word.word. We've actually built it now so that if you just type word with spaces in between, it'll ask you, did you mean, and then correct to that word. So that's helpful as well. So again, this is if someone gives you the 3-word address over the phone, you just type that straight into the map. You can switch over to satellite mode, zoom in. You can see each square here. You can see how small the squares are, right? A car is bigger than a 3-word address. So if you need to talk about exact location, what it's showing now is if I want to show decimal degrees or a different format of GPS coordinate, that is also something that can get set up there on the map or on the app as well, so that you can use different locations. I'm just going to go back to the app really quick if I can, because that might work now. Okay, just wanted to check, but I think it's still not working. And then, so as I was mentioning, it's great to get public awareness out there as well, to get the community to understand What3Words and to be able to, help you as well, so they call in already knowing their location. We're well aware that at the moment, most people are not going to know about What3Words yet. But in the UK, we're about 18 months, almost 2 years into our work there. And every day people call in already knowing the 3-word address. So it's been really impressive in a short amount of time that people have heard a lot about it. And you can see these examples here in the US because people are talking about it. So we'd love for you all to also, if you have a use case, if you've got a story, to share that out with the public and say how you used it. So this is what we see a lot of our partners doing. That helps their community get more familiar with it and be able to use it. We're also starting to work with campuses. We'd love to do more of that in Kansas as well. So the University of California, Riverside was the first university to start using it in their PSAP. They're rolling it out in different ways with students as well to help people start to use it across campus. So making it really easy for people to give that location. So Arizona State Parks, again, as I mentioned, they have been using it and talking about it. This is something that we are setting up with Kansas State Parks. And so I would say in the next month or so, we'll be hopefully live on the website, and then they'll be using it and talking about it as well. So that's going to be another angle of they'll be putting out some messaging similar to the 911 to say that they're using What3Words. You can find various places around the parks, but you can also report an emergency. So that's a really nice way to make sure that people can use it when they are out and about. So again, just a couple more stories about since training their 911 dispatchers to receive What3Words from callers, Lieutenant Day and the team have organized community education sessions to explain the benefits and started social media campaign to students to help them understand the ways they can use it across campus. So it's really simple. It's really fun. There's a lot of cool, fun ways you can use What3Words to just get the word out and to get your community using it. So we also do things like a social media week. So we were talking about the different partners that we're working with directly, and sharing what you all are doing with our different teams. So again, talking about ways that you can receive a 3-word address. If the person doesn't know their location, doesn't know their 3-word address, they can be sent this link. Now, most of the time, again, radius maps should show their location. If for some reason that isn't triangulating close enough and you need to get a closer location, you can use the rapid locate text, or you can use us.findme.w3w.co, which pulls up a screen and gets the 3-word address for the caller. So this is what that looks like if I'm able to get this video to play. And sorry about the video issues, but I think it's fine. So yeah, so basically that's really simple to use. Now, again, on a call, it should be pretty straightforward to use What3Words, because you'll have it there with your map, or if you need to talk a caller through getting the 3-word address, again, this is that us.findme.w3w.co text link that could be sent to them. They then can refresh, get these words over the phone, and speak them back to the call handler. Now, again, if they already have the app, they can just open the app and read the words to you. So that's the benefit of having the app already on the phone. Now, a couple of examples. We've seen a lot of communicating between services. So, between fire and EMS and law enforcement, or whoever it might be, or the park rangers, for example. That's a great example of how the dispatchers are talking to the park rangers, and then maybe if they need an ambulance. Using 3-word addresses is a common language that people can use no matter which tools they use. So people might use different tools, but they can all use What3Words. As I mentioned, roadside accidents have been a big place where we've seen What3Words used, and then a lot of it has also been locating people who have fallen in remote locations. So again, if they're out hiking, fishing, camping, hunting, any of these outdoor activities, What3Words can be really powerful in finding them in those locations. We talked about events already, so I won't go into this really again, but once events come back and we're out and about, What3Words is a powerful way to talk about it in these locations. Now, radius maps is a great thing to show, because I know that hopefully, I think this is slightly older screen grab, but this should be similar to what you're able to see. So up here on the left, you can see the 3-word address, exile, send, pull, the lat long next to it, and there are various format issues. So our format illustration. So What3Words is just the human-friendly version of those coordinates, right? So exile, send, pull is what you can radio out to a first responder to get to this exact location. In this example, they were saying that the caller triangulated to this blue pin here, but they actually were here at Bell's Asking Reform on this little river. And so by sending them a message or asking them if they have the app, they were able to get Bell's Asking Reform, type that in to the search bar, and then you can see Bell's.Asking Reform in San Francisco, California. Click on that and see exactly where that is. And so then again, you can use that through radioing it, texting it, sending it out to the first responders so they know exactly where to go to find this caller. We work with First Do and other kind of technologies. What3Words can be built into any Esri or ArcGIS platform. So if you use any of those in your county, What3Words can be integrated. CERT Disaster Surveyor app just integrated. So if you work with volunteer communities, I know they're all across the US using this CERT Disaster Surveyor app. It now includes What3Words, so they can use that. So thank you to Rice County. They introduced us to Allied Technical Consultants, and they've built What3Words in as well. So I know many of you may use their product. You can also use What3Words here, because we know that it's simplest for you to use What3Words through the products you already have. You can see where any of the first responders are here using their 3-word address. You can search one, you can find a location, you can then notify EMS, fire, or law enforcement by sending a text message, which they'll receive with the 3-word address. So again, lots of different ways you can use What3Words. Couple Esri examples. It can be built into any other maps or apps that you're using as well. So it can be used for marking and sharing locations. If you have any 311 non-emergency communications, great for reporting potholes or a tree down or things like that. You can use What3Words. So yeah, I'm just going to flip through some of these. Again, lots of great stories about how people are using it every day to rescue people. Some very glamorous, some simple, some finding, you know, a horse stuck under a mill out in a field. We're really pleased to be able to help with all kinds of situations where it might be difficult otherwise to communicate that exact location. So with that, I would love to take any questions that anyone has. Feel free to type them in or come off mute and ask directly.
Ashley, I don't have a question. I wanted to thank you for everything you've been doing for us in training.
Thank you. Yeah, please. So we do have a question from Brody. So he's asking if we have resources available to tell first responders about it, brochures, etc. Yes, we do. So we've got a G Drive portal folder, but I know that Lori was working to add some of these things directly to your own internal portal. So I'm not sure if Lori has any update on that, but we have a G Drive folder that I can share. It has what we call internal folder and external. So the internal one would include things like helping the dispatchers and supervisors get set up, but also some information for first responders and how to use the app. We have some really quick webinars. And then we have the external folder for any assets around telling the community or public service announcements and things like that. So we can also help work with you directly on things or set up a training like this for first responders in your area. I would be very happy to do that. So yes, I can share those links afterwards, and then very happy to help with other assets as needed. And Lori, great, thank you. She's saying that they'll be getting it up on the Knowledge Center. And so I can make sure she's got the latest, because we've just recently been kind of updating some for first responders. So we're trying to make it really simple, just 2 pages of kind of, this is what 3-word address is. This is how you can speak or type it into the app, get to your exact location. So yeah, so we want to make it as simple as possible. Anybody else have any other questions? Oh, I couldn't hear the question. I couldn't hear if there was a question, but okay, great. Well, then I guess that's it from my side. Thank you so much for having me. And my email is just ashley@what3words.com. If anyone has questions later, needs materials, setup packs, things like that, kind of some community or stickers, flyers, things like that to hand out, then just let me know.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashley.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
You bet. Bye-bye.